And we're back with another episode of the Flagrant 2 with X and Lou. Shit, two gracious NBA co-hosts. I be Lou, that be X. Back for another episode, man. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be tuned into all of our newest episodes. Wow, we about to go into the conference finals, ain't we?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hold on, let me let's start off with the Pacers and Cavs.
Yeah, go ahead. You
Cavs are injured, man. I mean, they're injured. There's nothing anybody can do, man. Donovan Mitchell playing on fumes. Garland didn't even. He looked like a shell of himself. They wasn't really getting Mobley involved, but he looked like he was gassed at times. There's just nothing they could do. And the sporting Cavs, they didn't really step up. Deontay Hunter or DeAndre. Whatever.
DeAndre.
Hunter. Yeah,
he gave him every name.
Yeah, he didn't really he didn't really do too much outside of like one game.
Yeah.
They didn't really get what's the white boy's name?
Max Strus. Go for now.
Oh, not Strus. Even though Strus was like, yeah, don't if you're not gonna
if you don't believe, don't come.
If you don't believe, don't bother coming to work.
Yeah, don't show up. He
shot like 0 for 9 or something like that. That was crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
But I don't know, man.
Ty Jerome.
Yeah, Ty Jerome. Yeah, they didn't really play him into the last game, which
to be fair, he was playing like trash, absolutely dog water.
He's a kid, bro. He's a kid. Sometimes you gotta let them. I get like it's an important series, but you can't just pull him just because he made a couple of bad shots. He was phenomenal on the defensive end.
No. He wasn't. The thing about it is Ty Jerome was playing fantastic all year. Giving you that third guard. He was giving you good minutes because he was giving you good minutes as that third guard out of the 3-guard that they had lineup that they had. Well, not lineup, but the 3-guard situation. He was giving you good minutes.
Yeah.
This whole entire series, he was giving you nothing. And you could say, yeah, he gives you effort on defense, this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, he's still small too. He's not really giving you anything crazy. The people who's giving you your defenses, Allen, Mobley, DeAndre Hunter, people like that. And it's just like, if you can't go out there to give me what I need out of you, what am I using you for? High key. I'd rather have Garland out there with a bum toe trying to give me what he got than a bench player that I'm not paying as much to. Garland, go out there and show me what you got.
Garland ain't have much.
He was playing injured. Everybody was playing injured on this. So you just went through 60 wins. Yeah. It's tough. You played good throughout the whole season.
You know what's crazy? I really thought that they was gonna pull out Game 7. I'm not gonna lie to you.
7? Oh, pull a game, bring it to Game 7. Yeah. I thought so too.
It was just that fourth quarter. They just all look gassed. They look hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when when your body's telling you tired, but you trying to stay up.
Yeah.
Your body's like, nah, bro. Like, I'm going to sleep, bro. Like, that was them, man. It was. Their bodies was just like, yo, clock out, bro. We out of here. They was still. I mean, give them effort. They were still fighting. They were still trying to put up shots. They were still trying to work, but nothing they could do, man. It was a combination of injuries and I think poor conditioning. I want to say poor conditioning. Mobley was coming back.
Yeah, I don't think he's injured at the end of the season.
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
it was just like what you want to do at the end of the season is not limp into the season.
Yeah.
You want to go in there with a head steam. It's just like when you think about like Minnesota at this point. They weren't just limping through. They were limping through. Randall ain't played much early in the season.
Yeah.
But he came back at the end and they started getting their mojo and they started flowing. You see how they got it going right now. That's a team that you look at and you're like, damn, they look like a fantastic team who could really do something. Now when you look at the Cavs is like, they had like 50 something wins, 60 something wins, and you just sitting here like, all right, they could coast. They got their wins. It is what it is. But we see a lot of the times that this doesn't work. It's the only people who's going to work for is the Golden State Warriors when they had KD. You could go ahead and then be like, oh, whatever. We look who we got. But this is a team that has to work together as a team. So when a piece of the cog is missing, sure, the other people could rev it up and keep them afloat. But when you got 3-4 people who's missing, and then these people, when they do come back, they're nicked up, they're hurt, and they're going against a well-oiled machine who's gotten better. I'll get the Pacers. I'll say they got by injuries, but at the end of the day, they still did get better as a unit together.
Yeah.
We always say that they're a well-oiled machine together. Like we throughout the season, people are looking at the Cavs and comparing them to Atlanta with that whole team that had 5 people who made the All-Star team. But honestly, if we really look at it, it's probably the Pacers that's similar to a team like that, where it's just all together as a unit, they work well together. If you put a lot of these players anywhere else, like, come on, look at Obi Toppin. He was in New York. He ain't look the way he look out here.
I mean, we didn't use them.
But it's a New York thing. Everybody who leaves New York looks crazy.
We didn't use them.
You know what I mean? But they're a well-oiled machine, the Pacers, and you're going against that when your team is riddled with injuries. And it's nothing to do like the Pacers are fantastic. So got to give them credit.
Nah, yeah, without a doubt. And you have to give credit to the coach. I always say, we always talk about the players. Not enough credit goes to the coaches. And I always try to, big up the coaches, because when you're coaching, it's about your adjustments. It's about being, we always talk about Doc, and it's like Doc is like the prime example of how not to coach, because it's like if something's not working, you don't keep slamming your head against the wall. You go around the wall, you figure out a way how to get through that wall. And not a lot of coaches do that. Not a lot of coaches make those adjustments, whether it be at halftime, whether it be during the intermission for the next quarter, or on the fly. You know what I'm saying? You have to give you got to give Rick Carlisle his props. You got to give him his credit, because he outcoached the other team. He outcoached Kenny Atkinson. Kenny Atkinson's a great coach. Rick Carlisle is more experienced. He's a Hall of Fame caliber coach. He's a championship coach. He knew how to maximize his guys better than Kenny Atkinson, given Kenny Atkinson's injuries to his team. But part of the injuries is maximizing the talent around your superstars. How can I get the most out of the guys that are on the bench and get them to play at a higher level, given the stakes of where we're at right now?
Yeah.
And arguably, you could say Rick Carlisle did that. It wasn't which was their superstar Halliburton. He averaged like 17, 18 points this series. He sub 20 points this series. But what did he average in assists? He was like 11. I think he was 11 point something in assists throughout the series. So he averaged a double in assists. He didn't have to do 30, 25, 30 point scoring. And you maximize the guys that you have around you. Your second best guy, what's his face? Why do I always forget his freaking name? The center.
Turner?
Miles Turner. I don't know why I always forget his name. But Miles Turner was your second best guy. Why? Because he was doing all the dirty work. And that's what you want out of your second, your third, your fourth guys. You want them doing the dirty work to make it easier for your star. So all your star has to do is, well, in Halliburton's case, be the point guard, be the quarterback of this offense, get us in our spots, push the pace, make the other team play that we want them to play. Rick Carlisle did a masterclass. Halliburton played his role to a T, and the sporting guys, they all stepped up. So you have to give the Indianapolis Pacers their props. Period.
Indiana, yeah. He gave him extra. He even gave him extra to the name, but yeah, that's a fact.
Right,
I gotta give it to Atkinson though. He still did he did a good
sometimes you got a
job.
little
I ain't gonna lie, he still did a good
sauce.
job. It's just like you can't do nothing against that. I ain't gonna
Sometimes
lie.
you got too much dip on your chip, man. That's all.
I ain't gonna lie though. Like, yes, we'll give it to the Pacers, but it's just the fact Todd Jerome played like absolute dog water. Was I think the kicker because he was literally the X factor. I think Atkinson did fantastic too because he implemented that zone, and we've seen a lot of zone. But having a zone, this is one of the teams that has it so differently because you had a zone with Mobley at the top. Like, how wicked is that? I don't know how many times they went through it throughout the regular season, but that was like the first time I seen them do it throughout the whole year. Me personally. And it was just like, damn. And it
was
actually changed, and that's why they won that game that they won.
Yeah.
But you know the Pacers obviously gonna look that film, see what they could do.
Yeah, Rick Carlisle saw where to attack the weakness.
And they did it better, yeah. But it's just like it's still, you know, some stuff had to be made. It just they players had to be more available.
I mean, I say this: the Cavs are winning this series without injury. I don't like the narrative that's out there that the Cavs shit the bed or they're frauds. No, they're not frauds. They didn't shit the bed. Like, give them their props. They had one of the best records in the NBA for a reason. There was a well-oiled machine until injuries happen, and injuries do happen. So in my opinion, I mean, coming into the series, I said there was going to be 6 games, but I had the Cavs winning it. I had the Cavs winning because they were the better team. And had they been healthy, I still believe that they would have been able to get out of Indiana. But it just is what it is.
That's why we play the game.
That's why you play the game. I feel super, super bad for Steph. I feel bad for Steph, man. I feel bad for Steph. At least give me a fighting chance with my best player on the court. It was like they was lost up until like the final two games when Kerr was finally like, you know what, Kuminga, I really don't care. I don't care, Kuminga. Go crazy. And that's what Kuminga did. Yo, Kuminga was putting the team on his back. And you would think that it would be Jimmy. I thought we was going to get playoff Jimmy. I thought we was going to get Miami Jimmy, the tired. I'm going to play all 48 minutes and I'm going to score all the points. What did T-Tom, shout out T-Tom, friend of the show, what did he say last the last episode? He said when Jimmy said in a pre-game interview, I'm not a volume shooter.
He's not that anymore. Yeah, nah.
It's just, but some got to give. And I get that this team is built around Steph. You guys won games without Steph. Steph was out this season. You guys won games. So if I'm Kerr, I'm looking at those games that we won without Steph. What do we do good? What do we do bad? What can I do to get these guys in advantageous situations to maximize the talent that I have without Steph? Kuminga was a start. I feel like that's all he did.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's just like you said, without Steph, this team does not have a fighting chance to win.
They don't.
Anything. You're going to be a tough team because this is basketball. You still got Jimmy Butler out there. And we seen what he did, but at the end of the day, he did stuff like this 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
4 years ago. Now. You can't expect things like this from him now. Don't get me wrong. You can expect a performance or two where you're just like, damn, that's the Jimmy we want.
But it's not going to be.
It's not going to be consistent where he's giving up his whole damn body for it because it's just like at the end of the day, he came here to play with Steph, and them two together can, you know, hey, yo, it's my night. I got this. Yo, it's your night. You got this.
Yeah.
But it's just tough. And it's just like, we say Jimmy ain't show up that last game for real. But the game before that, he showed up. Him and Kuminga damn near had 30 points each. It's just the rest of the team who couldn't do anything. And if we had a performance like that from Jimmy the last game, with Pods actually finally showing up.
Y'all could have pushed
Gotta
to
give
6.
it out to him. It could have pushed it to 6. That's all you needed right there. But it's just
And now you got Steph back.
But it's just the Minnesota doing what the Minnesota does. They are the legend killer, the OG killer. He's taking.
I'm not calling him
names.
a legend killer for the simple fact that he didn't kill Steph. Steph wasn't on the floor.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I give it that, but still, all of them are gone. And this is just literally what we was talking about last round. All of them are gone at the end of the day. This is a new NBA.
All of them except
somebody
one legend.
Who? Anyway, no. Let me continue what I was saying about the Wolves. wait. Anyway,
a legend left.
We gotta give a shout out. Ant has been playing fantastic. He took a little step back for the team to take a step forward. And a reason, like, you know, he slowed down he ain't scoring as much, but his assists went up. He's giving more power to people like Randall, who needs the ball in his hand, which is a completely different player from Cat. So it's just like that's what he has to do to be able to let Randall get into his bag, which alleviates some situations for him to fall into, which is his weaknesses. So it's just a fantastic thing to see that the young guy like himself can see that and be like, yo, look, we just want to win. That's all I want to do. It don't matter if I go out there and get 30 points, if I get 15 points. Because I was watching a clip where he was sitting there talking about, a fan was in the crowd talking about, oh, you 0 for 11. You 0 for 11. What he said, yeah, I'm 0 for 11, but y'all still about to lose. Like, it don't matter to this guy. It's not about just getting these numbers. It's about winning. Yes, I want to go ahead and get my numbers. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
One of the youngest players, he what is he? He 1,000 points in his playoff career already.
He's only like 23, 24.
It was like 6 others who are Hall of Famers in their own right. So it's just like, as a matter of fact, I wanted to say, how many he played so much game 6s, game 7s already in his career, bro. Like, you wonder why he get to that number so fast. Come on, bro. But anyway, he got to where he did his thing, and I just want to give a shout out to T Wolves, man, out there. Y'all doing y'all thing, man. Before we get into it.
And shout out Randall. Shout out Randall.
Big shout out, man.
You know, settling down, taking on the number 2, the number 3 role, understanding what your role on this team, and being a compliment to Ant instead of a detriment to Ant. So shout out to Randall.
All we've been asking for.
Yep.
Ever.
Shout out to Dante for finally showing up. I'm not saying that he hasn't shown up, but saying he you know, it was a little rocky. You just saw the playoffs and he's starting to pick it up. He's starting to get more confidence. You got Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels. Goddamn.
McDaniels.
Yeah, McDaniels. Everybody's playing their role, but yeah, like you said, man, Ant has. I don't even want to say he took a step back. It was more like he stopped to look to see what the team needs him to be. And then went full speed ahead at that. It's like, you know what I'm saying? You kind of stop yourself. Good players look around and see where their team is at and what can I do to get these guys to play the way I need them to play. You know, you look at Kobe, you know, look at Jordan, you look at even LeBron, you know, you look at the guys who have done great things, who have made deep runs into the playoffs. They've kind of year to year, series to series, you got to look at what you have, what you're going up against, and be like, they don't need me to do this. They need me to do that. You know, all right, I did this last series. This is not working. My team needs me to do this. What does my team need me to do so that I could win? You know, so that we could all come together and we could collectively win. And shout out to Ant also, because as a young player who has that mindset that I can score on you at will. I'm nobody could guard me, nobody could do anything with me. To be that selfless and to trust your teammates, to make that selfless pass, the extra pass, that's remarkable for somebody that young who has that mindset that nobody could guard me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, hey man, Timberwolves Knicks finals. Anyways, shout out to Joker. No, as a matter of fact, shout out to Jamal Murray. We was gonna get a vintage Jamal Murray, and it just happened when he got the flu. He had the flu game. Shout out Jamal Murray. Shout out to Joker. Shout out to Russ. Push the game 7, man. Game 7 Sunday in OKC. They won last night. It was a good game. It was a great game. I feel like OKC, they go on these runs and they get lackadaisical. There was so many turnovers, so many like then you get down and now you're foul hunting and trying to slow the game down. And it's like you guys have the team to be dominant. You guys get up. And then when you get down, it's like instead of doing what you guys are good at, you know, on ball defense, forcing, creating turnovers, get into fast break scoring, slowing it down, ball movement, find an open guy, getting Chet and getting Chet and Shea into positions where they could, you know, get to their spots on the floor. Y'all go head hunting. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all start reaching for these fouls, and it's like you're not always gonna get these calls, and you're hoping you get these calls in pivotal moments. You can't do this when you're down 10. You can't do this when you're down 15. You could do this maybe when you're down like 4, 3, maybe 5. You know what I'm saying? It slows the game down, gives you guys a chance. You know what I'm saying? Everybody catch their breath, whatever. You guys are doing this with like 6 minutes left, down 15. Get into your offense, get the ball movement, you know, get into guys the way that you was doing in the beginning of the game defensively, create these turnovers, start this run. I think it's more of a credit to Denver than it is to OKC at this point.
I think no, that's a fact. Denver is looking a lot better. At least I said it. If Jamal Murray shows up, which he's shown up, like he's shown up. This is probably the second or third game he's shown up throughout this series already. That I could sit here be like, yo, he's played fantastic, and that's what you want out of him. If you get 3 or 4 games in a whole 7-game series out of him, 3 or 4 games out of the series out of him, where he's playing like Jamal Murray, where you could sit there and be like, yo, we go down to the wire and Jamal Murray is the guy. I'm fine with having the ball in his hand over Jokic, making those decisions. You're in a good place as Denver. And that's the one thing you needed. No matter how bad MPJ's playing, no matter if Aaron Gordon's hitting his shots and making his shots, if Jamal Murray and Jokic is playing their game, the rest of it will fall in line. And that's what happened. And then on the OKC side of things, we see one thing that's not falling in line. Jalen Williams has not been playing his best basketball. He had 1 good game this whole series so far.
Yeah. And that was last game.
No, not last game. Hell no.
No, not this past game. I'm talking about the game.
Oh, I was about to say. I was like, hell no. Boy, it was 18% from the field. But it's just like, the thing about it is he's gotten better at creating his own shot. Yes. He's not elite. We know Shea is the elite one at creating his own shot. The thing about it is a guy like Williams would thrive better if he had more of a movement situation. And the thing about it, he was getting more of those during the season as well, because during the regular season, you're playing like 12. This team is playing like 12 guys. So Shea's not out there all the time. This is the playoff. Shea has to be out there for like 42 minutes a game. They're playing 40 minutes a game. So those opportunities that he got off the ball and things like that, or on ball reps, that spacing was different, things wasn't catered toward Shea more, but catered toward him was a lot better. And it's just like, what they need to do is get more in transition and get him more easier buckets and things like that. But it's just like half court wise, Jalen Williams is not showing up. He's not hitting his shots. And it's just like, come on. Denver has the athletes to actually defend him. They don't play them that often, but what they do, you got Aaron Gordon, you got Peyton Watson. Those two guys are giving them headaches out there. And
he doesn't look confident.
Yes, exactly, too. Just because this is just what he's been dealing with this whole series.
Yeah.
So it's just like...
And shout out Strother. Strother has come in. Huh?
Nah, I'm with you.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Strother, man. Strother has come in and given Denver quality minutes off the bench. He's been everything that they've been asking Porter to be this series. He's been putting his head down, playing tough defense, doing the dirty work, getting the rebounds. And it's like, it's not even like he's going up and getting offensive or defensive rebounds. Like, it's just, he's making a point to be there. Presence. Get him your hand on the ball. Tapping it out. Doing the dirty work. And, I mean, he gave them quality fourth quarter minutes last night.
Yeah. I wouldn't say everything you want MPJ to be. I think he's just there. He's just everything you wanted, like, you know, just an extra piece of what KCP would have brought you or something. Like, because MPJ is doing what MPJ doing. He's just missing.
I mean, he was like 40 or 50% this game. Yeah, 10 points.
No, I just mean like in general. Yeah.
But yes. Well, I don't mean like what they want him to be. I mean like what you've been wanting out of MPJ. Because MPJ, his minutes have been cut down, and Strother has been eating a lot of his minutes. And I think it's also because of the defense that Strother brings, but it's also the dirty work on the offensive side. You know what I'm saying? The helping out, the willing to put your body on the line, not always just sitting there for the sit and pop shot. Even though he could do that, he did that this game. He had a big three in the corner, but I could slash. I could get to the rim. I could do everything that you need me to do, and that's the only reason why I say like everything that MPJ that you would want out of MPJ. You do want that. You want MPJ to be a little bit more on ball, a little bit more not dependent on his three. You got to do other things to try to get your three, because if your three's not working, if it's not dropping, what do? You get easy looks at the basket. You know, you got to see the ball go in, so that way it gets your confidence up. All right, well, this layup work, this dunk work, you know, this back door, this mid range. Let me step out now. Spot up three. You're a little bit more confident to take that shot. MPJ has not looked confident all series.
Yeah. Nah, I don't know. MPJ, he got a shoulder injury, bro. I don't know what's up with that, man. He got a shoulder, so it's like I can't. You're a shooter, your shoulder hurt, bro. This is what you're doing all day. Like, it's tough, but it's just like it's like we said, if the mentality of being able to hustle on the other end, like, you don't always gotta just shoot the ball. You got one good other hand, knock the ball the hell away. They don't want you take my good hand. It's my strong hand. Take that one. You know what I mean? Use the strong hand to do something else, man. But yeah, I think the Nuggets. This is going to be a fantastic game 7, though. Sunday, 3:30.
This is the first game 7 of the postseason.
No. The Nuggets just played game 7. They won 7 games with them.
Oh, against the Clippers.
Yeah. These boys is playing every day, all day, nonstop. They don't get no breaks.
James Harden was already
James
in Mexico.
Harden disappeared. Yeah,
he was in Mexico at halftime.
So it's just like it's crazy.
Forgot about that.
The Nuggets is game 7 Nuggets, man. I ain't no way. I mean, hey, look, if they get past this and they win the next series, we're gonna talk about it, because I think, hey, look, Knicks fan or not, man, it seemed like the championship going through the West.
I don't know, man. Well, let's talk about it though. Let's talk about it. First of all, yes, I'm a huge Knicks fan. Yes, I hate the Celtics. Just because I hate the Celtics doesn't mean that I like to see any player get injured. It could have been Jaylen Brown. It could be Peyton Pritchard, and I hate him. Hate Peyton Pritchard. He just keeps knocking down. Just keeps knocking down shots, man. Derek White too, man. I hate his smile, but
Bruh.
just because I hate them, I hate them because I'm a Knicks fan, and they're on the ops. If they come to the Knicks, I would love them, but they're on the ops. I hate them.
Mhm.
But just because I hate them doesn't mean I wish injury on any player. I'm wishing and praying and hoping for speedy recovery for Jason Tatum. I love Jason Tatum. But you know, it sucks. It sucks. That injury reminded me, like the way it looked, the non-contact, the way that he stepped back, pulled forward. It looked just like Dame's injury.
Yeah.
Like it looked exactly the same, just different spots, different angles and situations. But I mean, yeah, Dame was going for a loose ball too.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know what it is. Maybe I ain't watching enough basketball when I was younger or something, or I just wasn't in tune to it the way we are now. But it seems like a lot more Achilles are going away. And it's just like, you got to think about it. It's just the way that players move nowadays. You know what I mean? The adjustments, the way they cut, they make movements. That these ball handle moves is different now.
Well, you know
what
they
he's
were
stopping
saying,
goals. It's like these Achilles is just
it's unnatural to go from this speed to this speed, but your leg be so far back and you're trying to explode off of that leg. So because that's what happened with KD.
Yeah.
KD literally was doing a crossover. His leg was a little bit, it just looked awkward. How his leg was a little too far and he tried to explode off of it and it just snapped. I just think that there has to be better ways to teach these players proper footwork of where you need to explode from, but it's kind of hard because heat of the competition with like Jason Tatum, your mind is go get the ball. It's a loose ball, and you're going this way, and you're trying to explode that way to go after the loose ball. It's tough. It's you can't tell your body muscle memory, hey, we're not gonna do this. You know, heat of competition is just gonna happen. So yeah, but I do agree. There is way more in the NBA at least, because in the NFL it's still like ACL, LCL type stuff. But
but in the
NBA, man, I mean, Kobe, Clay, Dame.
But we got to think about it. Like,
KD.
Come on. And what I'm saying is, when we think about it, before Kobe was like the last major Achilles heel injury of our era. The first one that I'm saying here, like, that's the one I really think of.
Right.
Before that, like, who was there really that we were sitting here thinking of? So it's just
I don't know, because usually it was like an ACL or
that's the thing. It was the knee before, but now it's the Achilles, and I ain't even look. I'm gonna lie. I already know it's bad because sometimes I feel mine. Yeah. That don't help.
I think it's the sneakers,
but it's
just there's no true support for your ankle when you're wearing lows. That's why I never understood like bowling in lows. I can't bowl in lows.
Nah.
I need medium to high tops to bowl. Like I'm not bowling in lows, bro. I'm not. I need cushion around my ankles.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's what they want to wear. I mean, I heard that it was statistically proven that ain't really nothing that crazy. The best you could do is have what Steph had for his ankles, with them braces. But it is what it is. But yeah, like we said, get well soon. JT, man, you still the op, but you know,
still an op,
still my guy.
My guy.
I like basketball. I like to see everybody play at their healthiest, and you know,
you never want to. You always want to beat the team at full strength. Never want to beat them when they down. So
yeah. But into this series, man, it's Celtics and Knicks, man. Is this just a guaranteed win for the Knicks? Are the Knicks going to the Eastern
I don't think
Conference
anything
Finals?
is guaranteed. I don't like how everybody was saying it's
by,
guaranteed, man.
Can they
I
get
said
beat?
coming into to game 5, especially the fact that we're in Boston for game 5. These guys are gonna play inspired. I always say it. Like I always say, going back home, being home, getting a home cooked meal, being in bed with your wife, that's the best. Waking up in your own bed, not no hotel room, not no, you know what I'm saying? You waking up in your own bed, getting home cooked meals, getting home love. You know what I'm saying? Your wife not traveling with you on a road. How often does that happen? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not the finals. The wife travels probably for like the finals and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got the family for the finals. They're not traveling for the playoffs. You know, for the postseason, for second round. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Wife is home. You know, you at the hotel. You know, sometimes, you know, the hotel accommodations are not that good because, you know, you the op and you coming into town. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not as good, you know? And when you home, you home. Like, home cooked meals, you know, wife rubbing your shoulders. You eat that good spaghetti, you know what I'm saying? You eat that good filet mignon, that good salad, you know what I'm saying? It's different, man. So I knew that coming into game 5, it was gonna be tough. These guys are playing inspired. There's a lot of talk. Can JB do it? Can he carry the team? Is Drew? Are we going to get more out of Drew and more out of Pritchard and more out of Derek White and more out of KP and Horford? Are we gonna get more out of these supporting cast guys? Luke Cornett was playing out of his fucking mind, bro. You got these guys playing inspired basketball, but that's what happened. That's what's supposed to happen. When you're a star, when you're a leader, when the number one guy goes down, the other guys are supposed to rally. We're supposed to, hey man, nah, we're not going out like this, bro. We may go out, not like this. I knew it was going to be a tough game. I didn't expect a win. I was hopeful. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Knicks fan. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful we win every game. But I didn't go into this game like this wasn't a must win for us. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like game 3 and 4 was must wins for us, especially being home. We split at home. We lost in Boston. I think we win tonight. But again, if we don't win tonight, then yes, it's panic time because you're giving this team with the finals MVP where everybody feels like JB has been better than JT. You're giving this young, experienced championship caliber team confidence.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And you can't keep not playing with a sense of urgency. These guys, why do we wait into the second quarter to try to play inspired? First, second quarter, I think this is the first game that we went into the first and the second quarter, and we played with a sense of urgency. We wanted to close this out. We did not want to go back home and have to do this. I think that was true, but I think that at halftime they got you subconsciously just like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it wasn't the same effort, the same defense, the same offense in the second half than it was in the first half. Second half, it just felt like,
Yeah, we up 3-1. We all right.
We could go home. You know, you can't
this.
play like that. You can't play like that. You can't let hurt dogs lie. You gotta put them down. You gotta put them out of their misery. Because what happens when a hurt dog lies? A hurt dog they heal up, they get angry, they get hungry. You can't do that. You can't give this team they're a championship winning team. You can't give them that ammunition. You can't give them that confidence. Got to nip it in the bud. So I truly feel if we lose tonight, all of New York should be afraid. Now, with that said, I still think that we're going to win tonight. I still think we're going to close this out. But like I said, in the off chance, Jaylen Brown goes for 50 points and you got Derek White hitting every single three again and there's no rotation. Everything is lackadaisical. They fouling Mitch as soon as he comes into the game. Like this is, the Knicks should be worried.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I think the Knicks still have to play with a crazy sense of urgency, simply because the Celtics was a team that we talked about throughout the season. We know who they are. They have two stars on their team, in JT and JB. And these ain't the stars where you're like, oh my God, they're absolutely gonna hold it down. Just like we said, JB won Finals MVP. These are two stars where one night one could be absolutely fantastic,
and the other one could
yeah,
lay up
one
a
one could be one could be the beta. You know what I mean? One could be the alpha, one could be the beta, and they could switch that up. And now with the fact that Tatum is out, we know who the alpha has to be, and he could go ahead and fill that role still.
And he has been. He's been
And
super aggressive, putting his head
exactly,
down,
he
getting
has
into the
been.
paint.
And that's the problem with being able to give. That's the problem with letting these guys actually live, is the fact that they can actually get some hope, some will, and be like, you know what, we can actually win this for real. We got to do it for JT. They inspired to do it for JT because with him, we know we could have won this. We just had, some bad games. And the thing about it, we're going to talk about it. The role players go ahead and win a game. That Luke Cornett came in and had like 7 blocks in one game, playing fantastic, out of his mind.
His wife had meal ready for him. As soon as he got the Boston, his wife was like, babe, your favorite meal right here.
Exactly. And that's the thing. We sit here and talk about how you said what you want from MPJ. You get trying to get it from other players. This is what you want from KP, and we getting it from Luke Cornett.
Yep.
That means KP, you got to show up, because I've said it. You've been an absolute disappointment. And you got Luke Cornett showing you out,
fighting
bro.
through that pneumonia. I mean, I hope
at this point
he gets through it. But if you're out there, you got to be out there.
At this point, I don't care what he got, because he hasn't been giving us nothing for the longest. I need you to get something. And that's a basket. That's what I need you to get. That's what. I don't care.
Shout out to the role players, though. I mean, you got Peyton
Pritchard and Luke coming out doing their thing.
Bro. Derek White not missing a single shot in the first half, bro.
Derek White, and that's the thing. What the Knicks have to do coming into this next game, you got to treat Derek White like he's one of the real actual stars on the team.
Yeah. You need OG and Mikhail switching off on Brown.
Derek White like he's Jason Tatum, bro. You got to treat him like that now, because this guy went out there.
You cannot miss your rotations with him. You can't,
because he's just gonna play. He's gonna play his game within his game. He's gonna have that ball moving, and this team's gonna play a bit different because they don't have JT. So it's a different team that you already game planned against. Now you got to do a new game plan, and this game plan got to still be similar. In my mind, I would still keep it type similar, because it's just like, I got to just focus on Derek White at this point, because Drew ain't really whatever. KP is whatever. Horford, he'll give you some stops and make a few shots, but it's just like, let me hone in on these two.
And Pritchard.
Figure out the rest. Oh yeah, Pritchard too, but
Pritchard has been very savvy. He's been. I mean, he's the.
But Pritchard's just
going to
do that, bro. Yeah.
Also,
6 man coming into the year, he won it.
Also, I don't like a lot of the switching. You see, Boston, they don't allow the switching unless it's absolutely inevitable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're fighting through these picks. They're, taking the under or fighting over it. They're doing what they can to stay. I mean, JB, his assignment the entire game, he took that assignment to guard Jalen Brunson. He took that personal. I'm gonna guard Jalen Brunson. And he was doing everything he can to stay in front of Jalen Brunson. Yeah. Every switch that came or every pick that came, he wasn't switching. He's fighting over. No, you play under. So if I go over and he comes back, you're right there. And I can always rotate back over. This is what I don't like about the Knicks is going on right now. Because you have two of the best wing defenders in the league, in OG and Mikal Bridges. Why are we switching? Why are we switching everything? Why are we allowing Pat to come up or Mitch to come up? Why are these guys are headhunting? They're headhunting. They're going after Mitch. They're going after Cat. They're going after Jalen. Why? Because these are the mismatches that they want, and we're as New Yorkers are letting it happen. Tibbs has to get into his defensive guys, Hart, Mikal, and OG. You see, if Jalen is going to the corner with like Drew or Pritchard or whatever, and you see Pritchard coming up to set the screen, your job is to see where somebody else is. Jalen Brunson, that your job is to see where somebody else is coming and switch it over. Do not allow yourself to be put in that position. Same with Cat. I'm not coming up there. I'll push you up there and I'll stay in the corner. You know what I'm saying? Go, Mikal, run over there real quick. I don't like the switching. And if you see the switching, why aren't you the one playing the back? And you're the one trying to fight over the same way that Jaylen Brown has been doing. Derek White did it too. Jaylen Brown, Derek White, who else is a defender over there? Even Luke Cornett. Luke Cornett is dropping down. It frustrates me because you're seeing these switches come, you're seeing these picks come, and you're not doing anything. You're getting killed on these picks.
I mean,
three, the extra pass, I seen one play where what was it? Cat got upset because he thought that Jaylen Brown was gonna stay, and Jaylen Brown was like, no, and ran back. It was a screen. Jaylen Brown's man came over. Cat was about to run over there, but Jaylen Brown was already on his way back to his man. And
Jalen Brunson?
I'm sorry, Cat.
I'm saying Brunson
missed the three. I'm sorry.
Wait, about Brunson?
Right. So it was.
You kept saying Brown. I'm like, wait, I'm trying to get this picture, and I'm like, Brown.
Jalen's. But yeah, I meant Brunson. But
yeah, but that also goes
a lot
into
of confusion on that instead of staying with your man.
But that also goes into the fact of how they're attacking. Like, I understand you don't want the switches, things like that. But they setting good screens too. They're forcing the switches. They're forcing the switches in high key. The Knicks, when they really got back into the series and things like that, the switches was one of the things that forced Boston into playing some of those ISO ball, and you've seen early in this series the ISO ball wasn't working for them.
Yeah.
So the switches actually worked out well, and it just happened to be a time where now Boston is catching their stride where these switches aren't working as effectively. So you have to I see adjustments has to be made, but it's just like I can see why they haven't done it yet because they're like, well, it's been working.
It's been working, yeah.
We're up 3-1. Let's just keep it going. And I don't
know if I'm Tibbs, I'm running like a pseudo 2-3, 3-2.
Yeah, but you're talking about as Tibbs. Tibbs is one of the most hard-headed coaches out there next to Doc. I don't care what you say. It's his system, and that's just the way it's been.
As Doc, but I do agree.
But you know what I'm saying? It's his system, and this is let's keep it going. Let's see it work. It's been working. It's gonna work.
Yeah.
So they're gonna figure it out. But at the end of the day, the switching was working earlier. Now it's just it's putting y'all in bad positions. You sitting here saying it's Brunson and Cat situation, things like that. That's gonna happen because these are two offensive guys. They got the switches onto them. Now they put them both in that same action. These guys don't work together on defense that often. So guess what? Something's gonna mess up. And that's what Boston capitalizes on. They space you out. They force your two worst defenders to play together on defense, and this is what happens.
Yeah.
So it's just like
it's unfortunate. But I mean, like I said, I think that we win tonight. I think that they come out with more urgency. I think that they get out to a fast start and keep it going. They're home. But it's tough. You look at history hasn't really been on our side. We've never closed out a game at home. In any playoff series, we've never.
And I don't think y'all closing on Boston floor, man.
It's tough, man. This is one of those ones where you have to kind of defy history, close it out at home, and get your rest and get ready for Indiana. But like I said, last game it gave those guys confidence. it's.
And I ain't gonna lie, I think this one depends on Cat right here. This
I
game.
disagree. This game is on OG.
Agree. No, I mean this next game coming up.
You talking about if there's a game
coming
7?
Up. This game coming up right here tonight.
Oh no, I don't agree. I think that this game is on OG. I need a signature OG game. This game is on OG. OG didn't really give me much last game. Cat gave me 19 and 11 last game. OG didn't give me any defensively or offensively.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I think you need a good Cat game. And I don't care what anybody says, you need Cat to be Cat and be better. Like throughout a full game of Cat. Because I
need Cat to stay out of foul trouble.
You stay out of foul trouble, but need Cat to have a full game of good basketball. Because
I agree.
We know Cat, he always has a game where he starts the game good, and then he disappears throughout the whole game.
Yeah, but that was this game.
He'll have a third. He'll have a third quarter where you're like, "Wow, where were you the whole first half of the game?"
Yeah, you need him to be consistent throughout the entire game.
You need him to be consistent throughout this entire game for them to win this game.
And I need Tibbs to get Mikal going early, like he did in game 4. I need to get going early, get his confidence going, because if you looked at a lot of his shots and his shot selection, it was off. In game 5, his shot selection was off. He was missing shots he normally takes, especially in the mid-range game. Yeah, he had 2 mid-range air balls. That's uncharacteristic of McKay. You know, I really believe that's because you didn't get him going early. You know, he's not seeing it early. You're sending him out there to die on defense, and there's no real connectivity defensively. I need these guys to talk. I need these guys to communicate. I need these guys to be locked in from tip. Guys, you can't just go into this game thinking, oh, it doesn't matter if we get behind 10, 20 points, we could come back. No, you need to be up 10, 20 points.
Yeah.
Worry about if they come back or not. You know, that it just behooves them to win this game tonight.
Yeah.
Get that rest, so that way Monday.
I think the Celtics are taking this one tonight, man.
I don't think so. I think we close it out today.
Celtics is taking.
But like I said, if we don't, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. I know a lot of Knicks fans is not gonna like me saying that. I'm a realist. I'm sorry. I am realistic. I'm not one of those fans that go blindly like, oh yeah, we're the best and we're gonna beat everybody. Like, nah, bro.
If that was the case, you should be a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, nah, I'm good, man. Now every year is my year, man.
Nah. But yeah, game 6 tonight.
Yeah, game 6 is tonight.
Knicks versus Celtics. I got the Celtics. A little over here. Resident Knicks fan got the Knicks, man. But y'all already know the vibes, man. Like, share, sub, and all the above. Your boys is signing out, man. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, because we here every week, man. Let's get out of here, man. Love y'all.
Yeah, I'm back, straight facts. In my bag, straight facts. Came to bring the hits, nigga. Straight facts, straight. Tryna hit the falls list, nigga.